This is a review of tonight's MNBRT Radio. The scheduled guest was supposed to be Derek Randalls from Washington State, but he didn't make it, so Abe kind of turned it into a round table. But before he did that, Bill Green called in and asked a standard question to both Evie and Abe, and started talking about movies. Started talking about the 18 movie and the Piranha 3D and all this stuff, and he was turning it into the Bill Green show. Taking over the show again, Bill. But anyhow, then Foot Doc Richard Eisner called in, and he talked a good bit about some of the things that he's experienced as far as his kind of taking on the idea of a mid-tarsal break. And I called in, and Rich and I had a really good discussion, sort of a debate about the mid-tarsal break and what I have learned from Jeff Meldrum, as far as from his book, and also from from his book, and also things I've seen on his documentaries and things like that. I would have to say that Rich and I had a really good discussion about the mid-tarsal break, and I simply told him that I defer to the expert, the foot anatomy expert, that being Jeff Meldrum. And we talked a bit about. He told me that he actually has some. Patients. He's a podiatrist. He actually has some patients that have a bit of a mid-tarsal break in their feet. And I thought that was interesting that, humans can get a mid-tarsal break. I found that to be quite interesting. And we talked quite a bit about the physiology of all that. And I asked him about his opinion on the Bosberg cripple. And he gave an interesting opinion on that. He said that it was actually in his opinion, he said it looked a lot to him. It looked a lot to him like someone had put two bare feet together. I'm talking about bears, as in black bear or grizzly bear or whatever. And apparently, he thought that that it was two bear paws overlapping each other, referring to the cripple foot, the Bosberg cripple. I'm not necessarily so sure I agree with that, because an orthopedic surgeon has examined that particular cast and determined that it was made by a living foot, by what seemed to be a living large foot. But it was a really, really interesting discussion between the two of us, and there were no bad feelings, no hard feelings between us. I still respect Rich quite a bit. I really enjoy his input into things, and then I made the announcement about the Oregon Sasquatch Symposium, and that I would be doing a show about it before the symposium starts. That'll be on the 16th of June, which is next Wednesday. I'm going to have Toby Johnson on to talk about the Oregon Sasquatch Symposium, and maybe he'll have some special guests on. Anyway, I really enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed talking to Rich. And it was a great show. Of course, as always, Abe is 5 out of 5 stars. Next week on MNBRT, I won't be able to listen to it live because I'll be at the meet and greet for the Oregon Sasquatch Symposium. But let's see, the guest next week is going to be somebody named Tony Mehmed. Never heard of that person. But he'll be the guest for next week. That'll be 9 Eastern, 8 Central, www.blogtalkradio.com/MNBRT. Now, this weekend, I don't see anything scheduled for night callers. I don't know if they're going to have a show or not this weekend. I don't see anything scheduled for night callers. I certainly hope there will be something scheduled for the show, but I don't see anything scheduled. However, I do know that Bigfoot Busters is having a show, and Tim Stover, TCSJR Bigfoot, is actually on vacation. Ah, here we are. Okay, night callers, yes. An exclusive Night Callers interviews Night Callers. Lauren McGorry and JB will be taking the show over and interviewing Luke Gross and Laurie Phillips. Oh, that should be interesting. That'll be this Sunday night, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, www.blogtalkradio.com excuse me, /nightcallers. And then, let's see, Sunday night at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on Bigfoot Busters. Chuck is going to be hosting primarily, and his special guest co-host will be Stacy Hostetler, a.k.a. Stymie02, because Tim is on vacation. Tim Stover, TCSJR Bigfoot. And they'll have as their guest author and investigator Paul Bartholomew. Paul Bartholomew co-wrote the book Monsters of the North Woods with Bill Brand and Bruce Hallenbeck and his brother Robert Bartholomew. And also co-wrote with his brother Bigfoot Encounters in New York and New England. And he'll be on the show this upcoming Sunday night, 7 Eastern, that's for night callers. 9 Eastern, 8 Central, www.blogtalkradio.com/TCSJR Bigfoot. And as always, we do encourage you to please tune in and support great research.